Oh, I never expected you to have your own secret base. It seems sharing secrets with friends can often help forge stronger bonds. To tell you the truth, I'm finding it hard to adapt. When I take my afternoon naps, I'm used to hearing Varka harping on about something, or Jean sighing in response. The thud of Eula's boots stomping on the ground, or Mika's nervous footsteps. Of course, each one is an alarm that calls me to work. Even if I really want to slack off, when the acting Grandmaster, or the Grandmaster himself, shows up, I have to be up and at the door. Especially Varka, because he's got his own key. Couldn't even lock him out if I wanted to. Well, Eula always knocks first, then waits for an answer. If she doesn't get one, she usually just leaves. Nah, she's too smart for that sort of thing. She only leaves because it'd be rude to keep knocking. Besides, unless it's an emergency, someone as tuned in as her isn't gonna just stand there until you have no choice but to open the door. Then she wouldn't bother knocking. She'd walk right on in whether or not the door was unlocked. And then there's Amber. Now she's a tricky customer. If the door doesn't open, she'll pop up by the window instead. Which brings us to Mika. I couldn't possibly mistake him. Whenever he's nervous, his footsteps get increasingly flustered. You can even hear them from the floor above. When he gets to the door, he usually marches on the spot for a while to calm his breathing, and when he finally gets it under control, he'll push the door open and enter. If you open the door, just as he's taking his first deep breath, he'll break out in a fit of coughing as the shock disrupts his breathing. For the record, I should clarify that I've never done that myself, but I have seen Kaya give him quite a scare. It's hard to say if Kaya actually did it on purpose or not. I have a sneaking suspicion he was trying to interrupt a meeting that was going on at the time. Sure, I was just thinking about an interesting thing that happened a while ago. Why don't I tell you about it? I heard that Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol was a hotbed for skilled sharpshooters. So I wondered if we might be able to organize a friendly exchange. After obtaining official consent from the acting Grandmaster, and the Grandmaster too, I sent a letter to the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol in the name of the Knights of Favonius. Not exactly. Normally, once acting Grandmaster Jean has approved an order, the Grandmaster signs any necessary paperwork without reading it first. Anyway, I took a few of my best knights from the 5th Company to Fontaine for a friendly contest with the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Now, I'd be the first to admit it. Their accuracy with ranged weaponry is better than ours. But when it comes to strength and endurance, we have the upper hand. I guess that must be it. While we were there, we held a cross-country race with heavy packs, and I noticed a few of their members had to stop for a rest break partway through. But not their captain, Chevreuse. She seemed more than up to the task. Too right, she knew exactly what training to assign them after the contest was over. She even made sure to ask how heavy our armor is and how we usually train. Then she said she was going to start training with heavy sandbags to replicate the effect. They'll be fine. Apparently they're issued with muskets that are heavier than the standard model for use in their regular training drills. They're made to maintain their standard firing stance while carrying these heavier guns. The idea is to train their stability and endurance when shooting. Not just planning. I've already asked Sucrose to produce some weighted model weapons. In a few days, the best marksmen in the 5th Company will be able to experience a little Fontaine-style training. Me? Not much point. I use a polearm. Oh, right. Once they're in the firing position, I plan to put a glass of dandelion wine on each knight's weapon. That way, if they can't hold their pose, they'll spill their wine, and then they'll have nothing left to drink after training. If it's not too much trouble, could you help me find a few targets? Anything as tall as a person will do. I'd like to practice my fighting. This is a nice place to rest, but I'm not used to sitting around twiddling my thumbs. If I let myself do that, my spear work will start getting rusty. Oh, And if you happen to know any spear masters, I'd love to engage in some friendly sparring. And when I'm sparring, I promise I'll only use my spear. Nothing else. My fighting style is as honorable as it gets. Well, real combat's a different kettle of fish. Naturally, I use whatever I can get my hands on. Miniature firearms, poison crossbow bolts, daggers and boots, knives up sleeves, poisonous powders, alchemical solvents. And if all else fails, there's always a rock lying around to smash against your enemy's head. If you're really lucky, you might even find a broken bone. The splintered end can be quite sharp. If you're unlucky and there's nothing within reach, you can use your teeth, head, elbows. No matter what, you can always find a way to overcome your foe. I don't feel any worse for wear. For me, coming up with ways to eliminate my enemies is a form of entertainment. I find it does wonders for both body and mind. But to reiterate what I said just now, when I'm sparring, my fighting style is entirely above board. And if my opponent happens to slip, cough, or sneeze, well, that means the weather was too bad for a friendly spar to begin with.